Good evening and welcome back to World Talks. And now we turn to the topic of the upcoming November vote in the US. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are set to face off for the first time on Tuesday. What issues will they discuss and who is most likely to win this debate? To discuss, I have Marek Skulimowski, President and Executive Director of the Kosciuszko Foundation, joining me right now. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here.
So the last debate turned out to be a game changer for Donald Trump, I say, and a game over for Joe Biden. So what are the stakes in this one?
And a game changer for Democrats, in a sense. Yeah, we're back. Everything is back in play because after the previous debate, Trump and Biden debate, we saw clearly who was the winner, which hadn't happened for decades, because usually we didn't see a winner, maybe with a slight margin. Of course, each party declared that their candidate was the winner, but the one I think that was the end of June, that was a complete disaster for President Biden, and I was watching it and I was feeling sorry for the president.
Right, right. And so, I mean, this debate could potentially be the only one, right? Because they did not agree on further debates. So what issues do you think will be key in their discussion?
That's like, as always, the economy. The economy and it's, as we may think that Americans are eager to discuss foreign policy. No, it's of course the major topic of each election is economy. So of course the economic situation, their salaries, job security, unemployment, and stock markets. Because a lot of people's retirement plans are, for example, based on the stock market. So that's like thinking ahead of time. So we can see that there's a lot of insecurity, economic insecurity in the United States right now. So it's going to be absolutely the major topic of the conversation and for the future campaign, no matter if it's a debate or whatever is going to go happening later on.
It's interesting that you said that because from what I gathered, Trump holds a 13 percentage points advantage on the economy over Mrs. Harris, even though economy is stable, right? However, the perception is not there that it's stable. People are still worried.
I think a lot of experts say that the Democratic Party has failed to sell their successes in the economy. That's the common opinion in the United States. And always, if we talk about economy, the Republican Party's candidates are favored in this matter. There's no doubt that because they are the ones to protect our home budget, our state budget, county budget, and federal budgets. They are not overspenders, as some say.
Right. And do you think that this is sort of a major vulnerability for Mrs. Harris, that she is a part of the current administration, that, she will be presented as a status quo candidate, perhaps by Mr. Trump also?
In the sense, she will try to move to the center. That's what happened during the last convention. She will try to steal certain issues from President Trump's agenda, no doubt about it, because where are the votes? Votes are in the middle, in the center. They need to win the votes of undecided and independents. So the independents. So she will try to move. Absolutely, she will try to move to the center. A lot of left-wing Democrats may be surprised by some of the messages in the next 2 months, or even during the debate.
Right, and this will also be probably a challenge for her to. On one hand, right, to sort of, I mean, she's a part of the current administration, so of course she has to underline the successes of Joe Biden, but then she also has to distance herself from him a little bit, right?
A little bit, yes. That's it's going to be kind of a maneuver. She will be maneuvering during the debate, but I don't think she will spend a lot of time on that because she will try to avoid things that are uncomfortable. In my opinion, she's a great debater. She's a prosecutor, so she's got her skills in the courtroom, and of course, she's not gonna fail in any way, and her experience, her job is to her advantage.
Right. So you've mentioned the undecided voters and perhaps those who are independent. And of course, we have to talk about the swing states. So what are the polls currently saying?
It's a neck and neck race. It's no doubt about it. It's whatever we see that's just like a point ahead or behind. It's within the margin of error in the swing states and nationwide. So it's really hard to say who's winning. I tried to check some of the like an average on all the polls in the swing states, especially in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. It is like 1 point difference. I think in Michigan it's more than 2 point difference in Harris' favor.
That's really interesting because there was a time, right, when everyone was convinced that perhaps, especially after the assassination attempt, that Donald Trump will definitely lead in this race.
That was his momentum.
Right, and then things changed slightly, right? But let me ask you about Polish diaspora and Polish voters. What are some of the most important issues for them, and who are they going to vote for? Do we know?
Yeah. The Polish Americans don't vote like they used to vote during communism, especially during 2 terms of Reagan administration and later Bush Sr. Then they voted like the foreign policy and the policy towards Poland and Eastern Europe was very important. It's not a factor anymore. It's like the Polish diaspora, Polish Americans vote the same like Americans in general. It's like, for example, it's really hard to say that Poles, because historically Poles supported the Democratic Party in the elections, but now with each election there is these swing parties, but it's also within like up to 5% only. So the Polish Americans don't vote en bloc. It's like, for example, American Jews. For them, the situation and the policy toward the state of Israel is very important. It's not that important for Polish Americans. I may sound weird in this. But Poles get assimilated very quickly, and they vote like the rest of Americans. It's like asking how do the Irish American vote, how do the Italian American vote. The same like Polish American.
Right, but still migration is an important issue, right, for majority of migrants, I would say, or not?
Yeah, but we don't have any immigration into the United States for the past 20 years. So that's the first time ever in the United States history that there is no immigration from Poland since the EU accession, which is 2004.
Right. I mean, it's significant, right? I mean, there's still some people, but I guess you're saying that no major waves of...
No, it's like insignificant. It's absolutely, you can see that there is no Jackowo in Chicago, and Greenpoint is less and less Polish.
So demographically, what kind of age groups are we looking at? Are we talking about sort of second-generation Poles, third-generation Poles that, you know...
The second, the third, the fourth-generation Poles vote like an average Americans, like average Americans. There's no doubt about it. We can see some differences in the first generation, those who came and are struggling to succeed in the United States.
So historically, Poles supported the Democrats, but this year we don't know.
Owing to Catholicism.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because, well, I noticed that Mr. Trump is trying to paint himself as a religious person, right, with selling Bibles some time ago, if you recall that incident. Okay, so going back to the debate, apart from economy, what are issues? Abortion, minority rights?
A little bit, and the immigration into the United States. I mean, the security on the southern border with Mexico. It's going to be as absolutely the second major issue during the debate, and a little bit of the United States involvement all over the world, and the dynamics of the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, in Ukraine right now, but in general, a little bit in general, and how much the United States is supposed to be involved in these conflicts.
Right, and a winning point would be more or less, especially for...
I think, of course, Donald Trump thinks his major... The campaign team is Make America Great Again. So he's absolutely isolationist. Mm-hmm. So in this matter, in his opinions. So he appeals to this right wing to conservatives and right-wing Republicans, so that America is first, and we need to take care of America, which is in ruins, and then we can help our allies. A Democratic Party is a little bit opposite, but they will not stress any involvement all over the world. They would like to avoid this type of conversation.
Right, and what about Ukraine? Because, I mean, people have very different views as to what could happen when it comes to the issue of Ukraine moving forward. So some are saying that the current administration is supportive, but not supportive enough of Ukraine to provide them with an ability to win decisively, right? Especially the long-range weapons are an issue here. Others are saying that if Republicans will manage to seize power, then it will be over. So what are the predictions?
The prediction is coming back to the beginning of our conversation. The Democratic candidate will go to the center. So she will not stress more involvement, but simply to fulfill all the promises that they have towards Ukraine and towards their allies in general, like Israel, for example. Trump said he would finish all the wars, especially the one in Ukraine, within 24 hours, which of course it's not true. Let's be realistic. It's not true. So it's also a little bit scary in this matter, because how we would like to finish, to press the Ukrainians to give away their lands, to stop fighting at a certain point. I don't really understand that opinion. But some experts say this way he's trying to appeal to the right-wing Republicans, to those who are not willing to support anyone beyond the United States of America. So it's not if he gets elected, his policy is going to be more moderate. We don't know at this point. Whatever he has said so far, we can all be concerned, especially in this part of the world we're sitting.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, Kamala Harris will not try to stress any additional and more forceful involvement in these areas. So she will try to avoid that topic.
Right, and sort of. In terms of the style, the debating style that each of these candidates presents, I mean, do you think that Mr. Trump will be offensive? Shall we pay attention to the rhetoric? What kind of arguments are being used? Will this debate be classy or the opposite? Will it be
He doesn't seem to be a gentleman, for sure, so he will be intimidating. He thinks that it's a way to win the debate. In my opinion, Kamala Harris is a much better debater, and she has that advantage. That's what I said. She was a prosecutor. She's very well trained in the courtroom, and she will control, I think, the atmosphere in the room and the entire debate. We'll see completely different scenario than it was 2 months ago. It's absolutely. In my guess is she'll be the one in control. So now it's Trump's problem how to overcome that.
Right, how to sway voters, right? But not, it doesn't, I mean, there's some people to whom the power of an argument matters, but there are also those to whom other things matter, right? So
yes, yes. Well, of course, I would like to see a rhetoric conversation, but I think it will happen during this event.
So if you were to put your money on one of the candidates, you would say that Kamala is going to win?
A little bit, yes. But again, as a rule, each party would declare that their candidate is the winner. And if you go to check the Fox News, you will see that Trump won the debate. If you go to CNN, you will see that was Kamala Harris.
And do you think that we'll see more debates, perhaps? No. Do you think that will be the only?
The next one will be the vice presidents debating.
Another interesting one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Walz versus Vance.
Yeah, because it looks like Trump is not ready to have a debate, and we have age factor this time. The one that was against the previous candidate, President Biden, now Trump is not feeling well with that in this situation.
That's very true. That's an interesting thing to point out. Absolutely. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll see tomorrow. Thank you, sir, for being with us this evening. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for watching World Talks. Marek Skulimowski was my guest this evening. Please stay tuned for more here on TVP World.